Rangers blow another two-goal lead heading into the third. This one was even worse. They were down four. They were up 4-1. And I don't understand why, and it's not all on him. That wouldn't be fair. But I had thought that they were certainly going to split it between Shesterkin and Georgiev for the Edmonton and Calgary game. That made all the sense in the world. But I thought it would have made a lot more sense to go with Shesterkin against Edmonton and Georgiev against Calgary for many reasons. And they decided to go with Georgiev against the Oilers, who have one of the most dynamic offensive attacks in the league. And the defense, just the overall defense, forwards included, just absolutely fell apart after Georgiev gave up the goal that made it 4-2. And the Rangers played a really good game I'd say the first half of the game, maybe even a little bit more than that. And they really fell apart as the game progressed. And it's a lot of the same players that are not really performing. I mean, like in this game, Mika Zibanejad had 2 goals, but I felt like he played a really bad game overall. Don't let that fool you. And give him credit for those 2 goals, but he wasn't good. Artemi Panarin, again, it's just, I know it's tough to compare players to Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, but we saw what those guys did on the Edmonton end, and then Panarin on the Rangers side. It's night and day difference. I mean, the Artemi Panarin that we saw the first 2 seasons as a Ranger, the one we're seeing now, is not the same. And just a lot of struggles in this one. And again, at least the Rangers are finding ways to get points, something that they may not have been able to do previously. But the Rangers were coming back in these earlier games this season. Now they're the ones that are blowing these leads. So that's back-to-back games where you got to at least end up with 3 out of 4 points in that situation. It could be worse. Like in a nutshell, at Edmonton with Georgiev, if you had told me that, would I sign up for a point? Yes, I would. But it hurts when you're up 4-1 and then you take a 5-4 lead and the Oilers tie it up with 3 minutes left on maybe the goal. I mean, what is it? Basically the first month of the season or so. And Connor McDavid may have scored the goal of the year. It's going to be up there. I mean, it was 1-on-4. He went through Hunt, Rooney, Nemeth, and Trouba and just totally juked him out. And Georgiev was just left dead. He had no chance on that one. And, the 3-on-3 overtime exposes this team for what they are. They cannot clear the puck out of the zone. I have not seen, and it has to be systematic, but it's also the players as well. What is going on? And sometimes when they do get it out, it leads to icings. So what happened here was Trouba, for no reason, ices the puck. That eventually leads to the goal. As Zibanejad, who is brutal on faceoff. I'm surprised. It says, he's 47%. It seemed like it was a lot worse than that. But Zibanejad just in overtime, it's all about puck possession. He just gives the puck away. And then they eventually score. But the Rangers just can't clear the zone. Yet again, Lafreniere and Kakko, no-shows. Lafreniere was on the 4th line. Deservedly so, honestly. The way he's been playing, he deserves to be demoted. I have no problem with that. But, so I guess in fairness to him, it's tough when you're playing with McKegg and Hunt to do a whole lot. But, Kakko, he's been playing with Panarin and Strome, but Panarin's been bad. But either way, they need more from Lafreniere and Kakko. Just not good enough. I also felt like tonight the Miller-Trouba defensive pair was not good at all. Nils Lundkvist was back in the lineup, and he didn't play much, but I thought he was okay. I liked what I saw from him in limited action. But, yeah, a really tough loss to the Rangers as they lose 6-5 in overtime in Edmonton. And like I said, it started out very good, and Philip Hedl had a really good night. Someone who's been very quietly. I thought he was pretty dynamic, especially early on. And Hedl scores his 2nd goal of the season from Lundkvist and Sammy Blais at 1:53. And the Rangers played a really strong first period, had chances to extend that lead, but it stayed 1-0. And at that point, there were no penalties, which was a good thing. The Edmonton Oilers have the best power play in the NHL, and they showed it again tonight. So the Rangers stayed out of the penalty box. Unfortunately, at the end of the first, Edmonton tied it. Zach Hyman scored his 7th goal of the season, and it was 1-1 going into the second period. But the Rangers didn't let that deter them, as they were able to score 3 straight goals. And Kevin Rooney scores his 3rd goal of the season, assisted by Philip Hedl with 2:52 into the second period. A really nice play actually by Hedl to get the turnover. Nice shot by Rooney that makes it 2-1. And then less than a minute and a half later, Chris Kreider scores the 8th goal of the season. And Chris Kreider, he's been good. He's stayed pretty consistent. And it's not just the power play goals. This is a really nice goal by Kreider. Adam Fox gets his 10th assist of the season, and Barclay Goodrow gets the other assist, but that makes it 3-1. And then the Rangers get a power play as Keandre Miller is slashed by Zach Kassian, and Zibanejad scores. Zibanejad gets the first goal of the night. He would get another one later, and Kreider gets the assist. It would go off Zibanejad's skate, but it was not ruled as a direct kicking motion. It kind of just redirected off of his skate. And so the Rangers take a 4-1 lead, but you just knew this type of game that was not going to be a safe lead. And sure enough, it wasn't. And Ryan Strome would take just a needless hooking penalty. Really no reason for it at all. And the Rangers they were very, very close. They were 12 seconds away from killing off the power play, which is no easy feat against the Oilers, and Jesse Puljujarvi scores. And on a goal that I felt like Georgiev should have stopped. It was a clean look. It was a good sort of like slap shot, but Georgiev's got to make that save. And I felt like from there, the game changed. And Strome, I don't know, that's a bad penalty, and he was quiet. I mean, that line, the Panarin-Strome-Kakko line, was like really nowhere to be found. I wouldn't say they were necessarily a defensive liability tonight, but they really didn't do a whole lot. And so it's 4-2 heading to the third. So now 2 games in a row. Rangers 2-goal lead on the road heading into the third period. You'd like to think that maybe they learn from those mistakes. They don't. They don't learn from those mistakes, as right away Mika Zibanejad trips Connor McDavid 24 seconds into the period. And you're just asking for trouble when you do that. And the Oilers would score. So the Oilers would be 2 for 2 in the power play. Tyson Barrie scores the power play goal, makes it 4-3 a minute into the third period. And very soon thereafter, on a play in which, if memory serves me correct, I know Dryden Hunt couldn't get the McDavid time goal out. This one might have been Hunt also, but I was pretty tough on Zibanejad. I mean, it could have been Zibanejad. Who knows? Either way, this was a bad goal by Georgiev. Puljujarvi scores again. Georgiev's rebound control was not very good, but I felt like, the Puljujarvi goals were weak by Georgiev. And so the Oilers tied up right there with 3:35 into the third immediately. So from 4-1 to 4-4, just like that, Oilers fans are going crazy. But the Rangers were able to settle it down, and they actually took the lead again. And it would be Zibanejad making up for mistakes, getting his second of the night, also assisted by Kreider. So a 3-point night for Chris Kreider. No, a 2-point night for Kreider, excuse me. And so the Rangers were up by 1. And they came close to making it 6-4, didn't. And you knew that they were going to have to score again. They weren't going to be able to hold it. And with 3 minutes left, Connor McDavid just makes an unbelievable play. It was a play where Dryden Hunt, which he has been struggling lately. So I'm wondering, will we see Julien Gauthier in the lineup soon? Maybe. Or beyond that, Ryan Reeves actually might be back soon. It seems like he's healthy. Will we see Ryan Reeves against Calgary? I think it's possible. But McDavid retrieves the puck at the blue line and just weaves through Hunt, Rooney, Nemeth, and Trouba, and then Georgiev for just an unbelievable goal. And it ties it up at 5. Luckily, the Rangers are able to hang on and get it to overtime, so they're able to get that point, as they did against Vancouver, but in a 3-on-3 situation versus the skill that Edmonton possesses, you knew it wasn't going to be very good, and it wasn't. As, like I said, Trouba ices the puck. Zibanejad, for some reason, pushes the puck forward, which I don't know why he would do that. Eventually, they can't get the puck out of the zone, and Draisaitl's all alone in front. He goes 5 on Georgiev. It's the game winner. Oilers win at 6-5. Another really tough loss for the Rangers in, again, a division that is so strong that you need to get every point you can possibly get. And 6-2-3, that looks good, but I do still see problems ahead. And a lot of these players really need to pick it up. It is concerning. And where Shesterkin can bail out the Rangers, Georgiev can't. And I didn't understand why Georgiev played opening night at Washington instead of Shesterkin. It made zero sense. And this one is a bit perplexing too. Maybe not quite as bad as that one, because to me, Shesterkin should have played both games then. This, I understand the split. I just don't understand why it would be Georgiev against Edmonton, Shesterkin against Calgary. Like I said, not to pile on Georgiev, because this was a team-wide effort, and defensively, they were not up to snuff. So it'll be very interesting to see how the Rangers respond very quickly in the second game of a back-to-back against a good Calgary team who came into Madison Square Garden and really embarrassed the Rangers. They really dominated them. So the Rangers need to remember that, and hopefully they'll be able to give it back to the Flames. But that game will go a long way in determining if this was a successful West Coast trip. So Rangers lose 6-5 in overtime as they head to Calgary.